The New York Mets just made a pretty peculiar move by cutting a former NLCS MVP outfielder, plus more Mets baseball, more Mets injuries. I will keep you guys up to date with all of that and its corresponding moves and what it means and what will come with it. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to this new edition of Mets Digest with your host, of course, Michael DeAngelo, as you see on the screen. Hope everyone is keeping their marbles together. I know the Mets are not doing a great job at that right now. We are still now 2 games out of the wild card as they just finished up a series split with the San Diego Padres, capped off by Edwin Diaz giving up a walk-off home run to Jackson Merrill in the bottom of the 9th inning to secure the series split with the Padres. Got to put that behind us now because now the most important series comes and is against the Arizona Diamondbacks, who is the top spot in the NL wild card. So, like we said before, these are the 2 most important series right now for the Mets. They just finished up with the split with the Padres, and now you got to go try and take this series against the Diamondbacks. So we all got to band together for our boys right now because we need a push right now for this playoff spot in the 2024 MLB playoffs and the wild card. And we need to push as well because we have been stuck at 1,300 subscribers for about a few weeks now. And I got to show y'all that only that 80% of you guys watching these videos aren't even subscribed. So, what are you waiting for? It's playoff time. It's September. October's about to be here. If you guys need anything with Mets news, roster news, trade updates, trade rumors, free agent signings, injury updates, all of that, this is your one-stop shop right here for all things Mets baseball. Me and Flobo Boys have been on top of everything so far, and we have given you guys every single update we possibly can on this team that continues to ruin our lives. And we will, if you guys subscribe, we will give back and put as much effort into these as we possibly can. So make sure you guys keep it right here. And I will now get started. The New York Mets recently, or about a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, signed Eddie Rosario to a minor league contract, and then now today just cut him and put him on waivers. So he has been released officially by the Mets. And this came after he was only hitting at a 444 OPS down in AAA Syracuse. You see his OPS plus there in the major leagues at only 49. This is a guy that started the season with the Washington Nationals and then made his return to the Atlanta Braves shortly after, where he was cut. And then the Mets picked him up on a minor league deal for a couple of weeks and then just cut him as well. This comes now with September being here. Lots of guys from the lower minor league teams being pulled up. I've been trying to keep up as best as I can. I've seen a couple of guys from, Port St. Lucie, rookie ball, being pulled up to the high A Brooklyn Cyclones. And, that causes a chain reaction. So, that means that opens up, that forces new other guys that are currently on the team to either get pulled up or sent down. And that is what causes this domino effect where some guys are just going to have to be cut, especially those veterans that are on, minor league contracts for a little bit with the major league team. And it was just so happened to be Eddie Rosario. Remember, there's also Jackie Bradley Jr., who's another lefty hitting outfielder who is on a minor league deal with the Mets currently in AAA. So it's kind of just whatever. I mean, look, Eddie Rosario has been a very inconsistent hot and cold hitter his entire career. Back in 2021 with the Cleveland Guardians, it kind of seemed like his career was coming to an end. And then out of nowhere, the Braves pick him up, and he instantly became one of their clutchest hitters during their playoff run. And now, after all that, he is back down to, his floor of, being a sub 220 hitter. And he just did not belong here with the Mets currently. I feel like he was kind of kept here as a backup just in case Tyrone Taylor's bat completely took a dump, which it hasn't. It actually has taken a little bit of a step up now. We see Tyrone Taylor coming through in clutch spots down in that 8 and 9 spot in the order. And that with Harrison Bader now back in the lineup, back from injury, it's kind of just a done deal with Eddie Rosario, and that's really all there is to it. Besides from that, other news in AAA, Syracuse as well. More importantly for us, we have just received an update this morning from the Mets, and it is about Brett Baty. In Thursday's AAA game, he was struck by a pitch with on his left index finger on a check swing, and the imaging revealed a fracture. And a typical return to play for this type of injury is 4 to 6 weeks. So now it is pretty official that we will not be seeing Brett Baty up in the major leagues for the rest of the season. And I will show you guys his stats too at the major league level. Remember, this guy started on the opening day roster. He was the opening day third baseman. And, he struggled right out of the gate. He was, not hitting good, and his defense was still very subpar, just like last season. And that kind of caused, some rumblings there at third base. And then, of course, everyone knows now the emergence of Mark Vientos kind of just put it in the coffin that Brett Baty was going to be sent back down. And, ever since he was sent back down to Syracuse, he's been absolutely raking. It almost seems like he hits a home run every single game. I mean, every single time I go on Instagram at night, in the morning, a Brett Baty home run is being posted, or the Syracuse Mets tweet that Brett Baty has hit a home run. So he has definitely heated up in AAA Syracuse, but everyone knows that AAA pitching and Major League pitching is one of the biggest transitions you can make in all of the major leagues, and that is kind of just the story for him. And when will we see him back up? We have no idea. He is going to have to win that opening day roster spot in spring training next season if he's going to want to see any major league time. Now it's looking like he might be a trade candidate, with Mark Vientos looking like the keeper over there at third base, with the bat providing some crazy power, and now some pretty average defense by him. So this could be the last that we see of Brett Baty in a New York Mets uniform. We have no idea. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But with this move comes another injury as well, and that is, excuse me, sorry guys, I don't know why things are just malfunctioning for me. That comes with Paul Blackburn, who struck on a comebacker in his right wrist during his start in San Diego. Everything in the MRI, X-rays, fine. He has no fracture, but he has been placed on the IL, and that has caused one man who we just traded for at the trade deadline to come back up to the major leagues, and that is Huascar Brazoban, who hasn't really had the most ideal start to his second half of the season with the New York Mets. We've seen him already blow a couple of games, and even when he comes in with the big lead, he still kind of struggles a little bit. We see that ERA above a 3.5. So it is not looking too good for Huascar Brazoban. After throwing 30 pitches in his appearance in the San Diego series, he was sent down to AAA, and now he has been pulled right back up. And it's possible that he will probably sit a game or two before he's back out there again. Remember, we just got Daniel Nunez back off the IL as well. Reed Garrett is back as well. Ryan Stanek is still healthy and throwing. There is a lot of right-handers in that bullpen. The only lefty right now is Danny Young. So, when it comes to, reliable right-handers, all the guys are around the same level right now of reliability. So that can cause Huascar Brazoban to kind of be sitting on the bench for a little bit. But you already know with this team, we need as many pitchers as we possibly can get. And, with this move, it will be interesting now to see who takes his spot in the rotation. Obviously, if I had to take a guess, it's probably going to be Tyler McGill. But to be honest, it won't be all too bad. Paul Blackburn should be out for 1 to 2 starts at most. and we will see him back out there in no time. I'm going to take a look at his stats just once more, just because, you know, we got to highlight how it hasn't been, you know, all sunshines and rainbows right now for Paul Blackburn. His ERA is above a 4.5, specifically 4.66, and he's already allowed 2.5 bases on balls per 9 innings. So, you know, pretty subpar stats from the former all-star pitcher with the Oakland A's. I mean, look, this was a cheap kind of acquisition at the deadline for the Mets. You know, we already knew they weren't all in at the deadline and weren't going to spend any top prospects for trade deadline targets, and this is kind of what you get. You kind of get this, you know, expectations now are high for him. They're raised. You know, he's not with the Oakland A's anymore, who get absolutely no media attention, get no reporters in the locker rooms after games. But, you know, this is different now because he's in New York City, and, you know, you got so many writers, so many media members covering every single night. You know, they're going to crowd your locker after games and ask you millions of questions, some that are beyond me to even ask. And it's a completely different ball game for him, and it's shown on the field right now that he still needs some time to really kind of get his feet comfortable in this locker room. But we need him sooner or later, because he is in a big spot in our rotation, because he is one of our last righties in the rotation. We have 3 lefties in our rotation that are all having really good seasons. We just saw Jose Quintana put together another very good start. So, you know, with Blackburn kind of filling that 5th spot out, we need him back as soon as we can. But it seems like Tyler McGill will take his spot in the meantime for 1 to 2 starts at most. But that is all I have for you guys here today. We will be back with another video on anything Mets related, or Mets roster updates or news. I'm sure something is going to come out of this Arizona series that's big. We need our boys to pull through right now. And I know Flobo has been covering about all the great things that Francisco Lindor has been doing. And we will definitely have all the updates for you when it comes to him and his MVP race as well. But I am going to head out now. Make sure you guys subscribe right here to Mets Digest. I'll really appreciate it. And I hope to see you guys in the next video really soon. Goodbye, guys. Have a good night.